a good day. First bacon. This is my first Saturday morning home, I think since May. Is that right? First Saturday home since May. Every Saturday that I'm home, I try to make bacon. How is it?
It's good.
All right, got breakfast all cleaned up. Laundry time. So this is the struggle that Summer of Serve brings, and Summer of Serve is awesome, don't get me wrong, but it always, it takes basically the entire month of September for us to kind of try to catch up. Some big help this morning that I had, Brian from Summer of Serve. You guys might remember Brian. Well, he came out with his big zero-turn mower because my mower broke down the day after Summer of Serve ended, and so he came out and actually mowed my lawn for me, which is like huge help, and I was able to check off several other things from the yard on my list. As you can imagine, my wife with 4 kids, the struggle for her to try to keep up on her own for the entire summer is, yeah, it's a challenge. Even like basic personal hygiene becomes a struggle. Like, look, my fingernails are just entirely too long. So, but I have a free Saturday morning to catch up on all this stuff. Better. The beard gets like scraggly and out of control. Better. What are you doing, wild man? What are you doing? This guy started to crawl. Here he goes, huh? Yeah, you figured it out, didn't you? Yep, you sure did. You trying to come to me? Oh, you're going right past me. Jasper needs a bath. You can tell he gets excited about that, huh? You excited, Jasper? You loved it, didn't you? Did you love it? He's always so freaked out about baths. He doesn't get them very often, so he's 10 years old, but he's still not used to it. Lay down. Lay down. Yeah. You ready? Go, go. Lunch break. You ready for lunch? Uh-oh. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have a meltdown. Better feed him. Everything's better, huh? Alright, I'm trying to sneak in this video during nap time. My wife took the 2 oldest kids to the store. My 2 youngest kids are sleeping. So we'll see if I can finish this before they wake up. If not, this will be a little disjointed. And so I wanted to explain why I didn't make a video yesterday. It's the first time in nearly 2 months that I haven't made a daily video, and it felt kind of weird. Felt kind of good to have the day off. Felt kind of guilty, like I was letting you guys down. But sometimes you can't make a video just because you're tired. You know, you don't have that drive. You don't have like that sense of purpose that it's like pushing you forward. And that wasn't it at all. And sometimes you can't make a video because you don't have the creativity. You know, those juices aren't flowing. You're not inspired. You don't have an idea, whatever it might be. That wasn't my problem either. It seems like whenever I don't have creativity, I just take the camera with me. I just push the record button and something just happens. So I've never had that issue, and I have a whole list of ideas in my office, probably 25 ideas long. And so there's no issue as far as exhaustion or creativity. That's not the problem at all. My problem comes down to one single thing: time. See, in my life, I feel like I'm kind of consistently like pushing the brink right to the edge of the limits of what is humanly possible for me. And so, as with everything else, I had to make it a little infographic here because I just have to, this is the way that I explain things, okay? Do you guys like when I do these things? Every single person in the world has 168 hours in their week. These are the things that are actually mandatory, that every single person with children should be doing every single week. Everyone should be sleeping. Sleep is key to your life. If you're not sleeping, things just drastically fall apart. And so for me, the right number is about 7 hours a day. If I get more than that, I'm actually more tired. It's a weird thing. And then if I'm down to like 5 hours of sleep for too many days in a row, things just start to break down. Work, I have a standard 40-hour work week. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, blah, blah, blah. Family time, 2 hours a day of just rock solid family time where I'm with my wife and my kids, just enjoying life, doing nothing else but just enjoying the family. I should have 14 hours of rest. That's basically a full day of rest. Eating, I think I spend around 10 hours a week eating. That's just a rough guess. 7 hours a week with my spouse, just this one-on-one time with the spouse. You know, she's also included in the family time, but we need time, just me and her, no kids involved. And then I need 7 hours of just self-care. So this would be the time when I'm reading the Bible, when I'm praying, when I'm just meditating, when I'm walking around the yard, no one else involved, just me and Jesus having a good time together. An hour a day to just be who I am by myself. Make sense? Just nod your head if it made sense. Now be honest, did you nod your head? Leave in the comments if you nodded your head when I asked you to do it. So that's 141 hours of my week out of my 168. That leaves a total of 27 hours left over. Now after that, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I got 27 hours left over and I have a whole lot of things that I'm doing. And so if I am preaching in a given week, to put together what I would consider a good sermon for me, I need about 6 hours of preparation time to do that. Other church obligations, I would say at a minimum, I'm 2 hours a week for other church stuff. This week we had our worship nights, and then we also had Kids Jam this week, and I was the teacher for that. So I was definitely at or over 10 hours of extra church stuff this week, and so that just goes week to week. It just depends. The yard, my yard is a big yard. It's 3 acres of property. I have a big garden. I have to devote at least 4 hours a week of time to that at a bare minimum just to keep it level. That's not improving anything. That's not making anything better. It's just simply maintenance. Summer of Serve I put on here. On the weeks that I have Summer of Serve, it's 4 hours for the actual project most of the time, maybe 5 to 6 depending on how much setup and cleanup there is. But then there's also prep time through the week where I'm going around and doing research, all that different kind of stuff. So each project takes an average of 8 hours for me. YouTube. This was a big change for me, okay? If I'm doing a video every single day, each video takes between 2 to 4 hours to shoot and edit. So I'm saying average of 3 hours times 7 days a week, that's 21 hours. And then other social media, I'm promoting these things. I'm trying to promote the city on Facebook. I'm trying to promote the city on Instagram. If I'm doing those things properly in a given week, it would take me about 3 hours a week to really get that right. And so all of those things that I just mentioned, if you add all those up and we max out the other church time as I did this week, you're talking 52 hours of time that I'm trying to squeeze into the 27 hours that I have left. Now that's not including any time for Habitat for Humanity. It's not including any time for DKI. That's not including any time working on the co-working space. That's not including time with friends. It's not including watching TV, which now you know why I don't watch TV. That's not including time for people that actually have to commute. I'm lucky that I don't have a commute, but I realize that that may be your reality. And that's not including any time for kids' activities, because I know a lot of you guys are running around to baseball practices and gymnastics and karate and a bunch of different things. So I understand that your life is crazy too, just like mine is. So the fact of the matter is, when you have all of this, something has to get pushed out. This week was especially crazy for me because I was maxed out on church stuff. I was maxed out on my yard because I've been gone for a week on vacation, and I was also maxed out on work because I was coming back from a week of vacation, which means there was a ton of work stacked up. And so when it came to Friday, I was pressing to get everything I needed to do done so that I could come here today with a clear head to start my week fresh. And so the reality for me and the reality for you is that every time that you say yes to something, something else you have to say no to. And so when all of this stuff stacked up in 1 week, guess what? I lost some sleep this week. I lost a couple hours of work this week. I lost some family time. I lost most of my rest time. I lost much time eating because I'm trying to fit all of this stuff into here, into the 168 hours that every single person actually has in a week. And see, what Brian came and offered to come and mow my grass this morning, which would normally be like 3 of my 4 hours of yard work, that's why that thing is so huge to me. So thank you, Brian. Like, you gave me as much time as I took back from the YouTube yesterday. What an amazing thing that is. Thank you, Brian, for being an example. And thank you, everyone who's ever done Summer of Serve with us, for being an example of what that can look like in a practical, purposeful way. And so that's why I would suggest to you that if you want to change the world, you can't be spending 4 hours a day watching TV. That's just not possible if you want to have an impact in the world, because you got all of this other stuff to take care of. And if you're watching 4 hours of TV every day, that takes up all 27 of the remaining hours that you have in your day. When you say yes to sitting there and watching that football game, or saying yes to sitting there and doing whatever, you're saying no to something else. And so if you want to have a greater impact, you want to get more stuff done, you have to start saying no to some of the things that don't matter so that you can say yes to the things that really do matter, fulfill yourself, and then do things like this, or do things like this, or do things like this to have an impact on the world around you. You don't have time to waste. You just don't. You got to get your rest in. You got to get your sleep in, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you need to push yourself to the brink of exhaustion or to the brink of physical depression or mental or emotional anxiety. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that you have only so many waking hours of the day. Don't waste them. That's why you didn't get a video yesterday. And I'm not going to apologize for it. I'm not ashamed about it, anything like that. It's just cold, hard facts. And so you don't have to apologize when you don't get things done either. You don't have to be ashamed of it. If you're not wasting time and you're just running up against the reality that we all just have 168 hours in a week, so be it. What I would suggest to you is you just change and adjust however you feel like you need to. Tomorrow is another day. You just follow God the best that you can possibly follow Him, and the rest will take care of itself. And so here I am today, making another video, super excited about it. I'm not going to show you any of the rest of my day. I'm probably going to be outside working. I'm going to be finishing my sermon for tomorrow's church service at 10 a.m., and I will be preparing for tomorrow's live stream also. So live stream Sunday nights at 9 o'clock is where you will see me next. As always, leave a like on this video, put your comments below, subscribe if you haven't yet, and don't forget to hit the little bell for notifications so you get to see when this video comes up next time. As always, my friends, I love you, God bless you, see you in the next one.